Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to graph a piecewise function and then find its domain and range and any intercepts. So first thing we want to do is look right here and try to define any or find out where we're going to sort of break up our graph. And so I'm first going to break up my graph at 0 right here. Let me see if I feel it. There we go. That's better. All right, so boom, 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 boom. Cool. Then I'm going to go to 2, do the same thing here. And then I'm going to go to 5 and do the same thing there. Cool. And so what this is doing is it's breaking my graph into a couple of different spots. And so what I have to understand here is that on the far left here, there are no instructions for going past 0, going smaller than 0. So there's no graph that's going to be here. That part of the graph is off limits. In the little middle, or on the in this part right here, we're going to be going with x squared. Then in the part next to it, we'll go x plus 2, there we go. And then the last part we'll go with 7. Now what I'm going to recommend we do is that we use pencil and we just kind of graph it all and then we erase what we don't need. So x squared is going to look something like this. We're going to have some points. We're going to start at the origin and then we're going to go to 1, up 1 over 1, and then we'll also have a mirror point. We'll go to 4 like this. And so our parabola should look something like that. Then let's go with, let's go green, I guess. All right. Oh, actually, let's go red. For x plus 2, so I start at 2. On the y-axis, go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Let's go 45 degrees, perfect. And draw that graph, awesome. All right, then I need to come up with 7. That's just a horizontal line at 7, so right about there. Cool. So we've drawn our graphs, but now we have to remember what goes where. Well, let's see here. We started off with blue. Let me get rid of the ruler right now. And only the blue graph can exist in this spot. So I'm going to go to a pixel eraser, and I'm going to get rid of the red right here and keep the blue. I'm also going to get rid of the yellow and keep that right there. Now, in the next section over, only the red was allowed to stay put. There we go. Only the red part was allowed to stay put. So anything that's not red has to go. So the blue, goodbye. The yellow, goodbye. This is where it's going to get tough with the pixel eraser. All right, cool. And then finally, in that last little section here, I was only allowed to keep the yellow stuff. So the red, not going to make it. Got to erase that as well. Then also, remember on this part of the graph, I'm not allowed to have anything at all. So I have to erase that completely. So get rid of all that. There we go. Final thing I need to do is I have to notice, take a look at my inequality symbols here. Those are less than. So that means I have an open circle here and then an open circle at 2 as well. So there's actually no value there. And so as a result, what we're going to get is something interesting in our domain. Our domain is going to be a compound domain. So x is going to, or for our domain, it's going to be from 0 less than x less than 2. And then we'll put a colon here. 2 less than, or let's do it like this, x greater than 2. Meaning that we have a gap there at 2. Like there's a hole in the graph there. And so that's our domain. Our range, we need to take a look at the values that we have here. We're definitely kind of bounded in a certain area. So like we go from here to here in terms of our y values. And so our range is going to show that. It's going to go from 0, and it's going to be less than, because like we don't actually have a value there. We have the open circle, y, less than or equal to 7. And we do actually have values at 7, so that's why we're saying it's less than or equal to. And then as for the intercept, we only have 1, and that is at the origin. And so now, let me just kind of tidy this up a little bit. Let's go with the object eraser, so that way I can get rid of just a few pieces of things. Cool. There we go. So we have our graph, and then we have our domain, range, and intercept.